been murdered. All the friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. And the bird said nevermore.
You're listening to the Call Podcast with Brandon and Josh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of The Call. It is a Baltimore Ravens podcast where we talk anything and everything Baltimore Ravens football. Thank you all for listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Player.fm, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. Well, here we go. We've got Ravens football on the calendar this week. Sort of. I mean, it is the preseason, but we're going to get to see some new guys. We're going to get to see some guys trying to earn a spot on this team. Joining me, as always, he doesn't have to earn the spot. He's already got it. My buddy Josh. What's going on, man? How you doing?
It's a good thing there's no tryouts, man. I got the spot. No one can dethrone me.
You're a veteran at this point.
You were it.
Yeah, that's right.
You were it. 300 deep and then some. Preseason's here. You're right. We have Ravens football on the calendar. Fans can make their way down to the bank on Thursday night because they host the Titans for the preseason opener. First of 3 and first of 2 at home at the preseason. Man, it's crazy because especially since I've been to 2 Orioles games this week alone. And then
just
you make
this
it
week?
The Ravens game. Yeah, just this week.
Wow.
And meaningful baseball. The Orioles are vying for a wild card spot, and then now you got Ravens football on the horizon. So things are looking good for Charm City right now, man. There's a buzz, but in the early moments of August right now, in the early days of August, with the heat blasting, humidity's cranked up here in Maryland, but we got some football on Thursday night.
That's
Titans,
right,
man. Here we go.
I can't wait. And before we get into that preseason game, let's go over a little bit of news that we've gotten so far this week. Big news coming. The GOAT, Justin Tucker, he signed a 4-year extension here with the Baltimore Ravens. It's good that we're going to have Justin Tucker here for that much longer. The guy is a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer when he does call it quits. But another 4 years of JT in town. I'm pretty happy with that.
Static. Raven for life. It was a deal that we knew was going to get done. It was one that had to get done, must get done. It did. No worries, no questions asked. I think the premise of that was what Tucker was alluding to. It was like a 5-minute interaction via phone call and kind of conversations we had. I mean, it was very easy for both sides. It was a no-brainer. Glad to have him and his accurate leg, for the Ravens, pretty much for the remainder of his contract, for the remainder of his time here, if he sees fit. And what's beyond that, we don't know. But a 4-year extension, very ecstatic to see Justin Tucker a part of this franchise and to really hopefully play out his years here for Raven for life, which is few and far between. He would join the ranks of Ogden and Ray Lewis in that regard. It hasn't happened in a while. Very excited to see number 9, man, to kick and terrorize the opposing teams with his clutchness, his greatness, his goatness, most accurate kicker in NFL history, coming off a year last year where he has the record 66 yards. What else can he do, right? He's going to go out there and break it a 67-yarder, who knows? But, a very well-polished career as we know it. He had great things to say at the podium. He hasn't really thought about a Hall of Fame status as of right now. He's just going out and doing what he does, make every kick and taking every kick as it comes. So, again, Justin Tucker, we knew it was probably going to get done. It comes as not a shocker, but it certainly is exciting now that it's official.
Now, our friend Paul, he actually posted up on Twitter that there was somebody who works for, let me see, is this ESPN? I don't know. This person says that they've covered the NFL for 28 years, and they're kind of questioning Justin Tucker. He says he will have to make some kicks in the postseason that lead to Super Bowls and win Super Bowls to surpass Adam Vinatieri. But yes, he's in the conversation for greatest kicker of all time. just in the conversation is Justin Tucker for the greatest kicker of all time? Really? I mean, he made
I think
history.
it's him and Adam and the rest. It's him and Adam and the rest because Adam's got him because, you can call Brady obviously a part of all that. I mean, it's still a team effort, but without Vinatieri's kicks, Patriots don't have 3 of their 6 titles, at least, and Brady don't have 3 rings at least. I mean, you can even call it what it is. Even you can go back even with Seattle and take Vinatieri out of there and call it a 4th ring with a gifted interception. But from speaking of Vinatieri and keeping some kickers, I think it's Vinatieri, JT, and the rest. Not in the conversation. They are the conversation. I mean, dude, that dude don't even know who's talking about. I don't care if he's been covering the league 28 years, 280 years, or 28 minutes. The dude's off his rocker. Entitled to his opinion, but we're entitled to bash it. And I don't know who that is, but wow. In the conversation, okay.
Yeah, I don't even want to give the Twitter handle out there because I think it's such a moronic statement to be like, is he in the conversation?
I didn't even see it. You're breaking this to me, but I don't even want to know because I'm very tempted to say a few choice words. So let's leave it be for my sake. But thanks for pulling that up.
The guy won a Super Bowl in his rookie year. He's a huge part of the Mile High Miracle play, if you really do think about it. He ended that game. He is history for the longest kick just last year in Detroit. How are you saying this guy is just in the conversation? I agree what you said. He's not in the conversation. He is the conversation. Justin Tucker will go down as the greatest kicker of all time, I think. I mean, I really do. He's got at least 4 more years with the Ravens to prove that. I'd like to see him end his career here as well, but even like great kickers, that we've had in the past have moved on to different teams later on down the road. But Justin Tucker right now, I mean, I don't know how you even say this guy isn't the greatest of all time, but
let's take it to a step further. One of your favorite movies around the holidays. Should we even go? Because because someone said about statue of Tucker. What makes me think of that? The leg lamp from Christmas Story.
There you go.
How about we just get a golden leg, just a statue of the leg? Not even kicking it, just the leg. We already know what it is, just the leg kicking the football. Very odd, very weird, but it would be pretty funny. But the dude he's clutch, he's amazing. One of the best of all time to do it, if not, again, one of the greatest. So can't wait to see how it plays out in the next 4 years, see what he adds to it. Let's hope the misses are few and far between, very minuscule of that.
Yeah. So next thing, great piece of news that we got earlier this week as well. JK Dobbins officially makes his debut at training camp. He passed his physical. He's still doing a bunch of one-on-one drills at the time of recording, but hey, great sign to see him on the field. He said a couple weeks ago that he was going to be ready for week 1, and here we go. It starts here, so it's great to see JK Dobbins back out on the field at training camp.
Dude, ecstatic. And we probably knew it was coming, right? Especially with the injury, pretty much a year ago, right? Was it late July, early August training camp?
It was against the Washington preseason game.
That's
right.
It
was end of August.
Yeah. So, and we play them thirdly here in the preseason. So let's hope he's not out on the field for some deja vu sake. So the recommendation was he's not even touching preseason. So let's keep it at that. And then all speculation was the goal there. But coming out, circling now a year later, definitely excited to see him back full strength. He's ready to go. I know there's been some reports and some rumors out there. Might not be ready for week 1. He's been, dispelling them online, saying like, I don't know where this is coming from. It's obviously media being media, stirring the pot. We have JK back in the backfield. His counterpart, Gus Edwards, supposedly not going to be ready for week 1. But we got JK back, and dude, I can't wait to see him rock, man. This running game's going to get a boost. Justice Hill's back. Now we got Mike Davis in the mix, Tyler Batty, the draft pick. This running game is just going to see an infusion like any other, man. And JK can make a case for the comeback of the year program, man, because and that goes for any Raven who was injured last year. I think this team really has something to prove. We can pretty much cover it up and down the board. We know who was hurt. We know who was coming back, couldn't contribute last year. The Ravens really want to put last year behind them. 8-3 start. Lamar goes down. They don't win another game. They go 8-9. And it was one of those crazy years, man. They could have been they were in every game despite all that. We get it. But I'm excited to see, JK, Lamar, Marlon, Marcus Peters, Gus Edwards, Ronnie Stanley still has to get there. A little bit of work to do. I just can't wait to see the whole unit, the whole squad back, man. It starts with JK and the rest, man.
That's right. So we have it coming up. The preseason begins this Thursday for the Baltimore Ravens, like you said, taking on the Tennessee Titans at the Bank downtown in Baltimore. Now, Coach Harbaugh has already come out and said that Lamar Jackson, among some other players, will not be playing. So Lamar will be sitting. Mark Andrews, Marlon Humphrey, Justin Houston, and Marcus Williams all will not see the field. That is confirmed straight from John Harbaugh. So, Josh, let me ask you, this first preseason game, what are some positions that you're going to have your eye on? Which ones you're going to be keeping an eye on? And who are you most excited to see maybe from this new draft class out there?
Definitely want to address the wide receiver room right now. I want to see who's emerging. I didn't hear Rashad Bateman's name thrown in there, so I don't know if he's going to play a series or two. Do you have any info? And do you think Rashad's going to see the field? I didn't hear his name mentioned. So part of the squad there. Now I'm excited to see him.
He did miss. I know Rashad Bateman did miss a couple practices, but last I heard,
he's back in practice this week.
Yeah, he's back in practice this week. So I have to assume he'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll suit up and play. I want to see him, Duvernay, Prochet, Tillon Wallace. I want to see what these guys can do. I definitely want to see what the backup tight end receiving can do as well. When I'm watching in this first preseason game, first roll, no injuries. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. If anything, minor bumps and bruises we know might happen in the games. Don't want to see any majors go down. Nobody. Second, third, fourth string. I don't care. I don't see anybody go down, man. I want this team to be healthy. We had enough last year. I think if we get any sort of injury scares, Raven fans are going to just be in an uproar, and rightfully so. I'm excited to see what the draft picks can do, man. Kyle Hamilton, especially. He's right now listed number 2 on the depth chart behind Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams is going to start. I can't wait to see what Kyle Hamilton can bring. I think I know Tyler Lindenbaum has been dealing with that minor tweak in an injury. Don't know if he'll be a go. It remains to be seen. I can't wait to see what the injury report comes out officially with the questionables out and doubtfuls and, not playing officially as we know it. I'm excited to see the real rookie class, everybody contributing. I'm really excited to see what the units look like, especially, even though it is preseason. What I'm really interested to see is our new defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald. I'm interested to see what the defense looks like under his new direction. I'm interested to see what schemes they come out with. Again, can't reveal all, don't have the starting unit. Can't wait to see what that looks like against Tennessee. Now, Tennessee's not going to deploy their personnel, obviously, for good reasons, being the preseason. So we're not going to be going against, some solid starters. But I'm really interested to watch not only players, but schemes. I'm interested to see what Mike McDonald does. Does he dial up, an aggressive package, or are we going to play laid back? But what else is a totality of the situation is, what else is on the line with this, right?
We got our
preseason game winning streak.
That's right.
Streaking.
We're going
what
for
are we
20.
At? Like, 23, 24?
I think it's 20.
I can't remember. I had to actually go back. 20. Okay. Yeah, I remember last year's Saints game, fourth quarter, and they scored a touchdown with like 2 seconds left, and people were like belly achy. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, gotta win the game. So I'm excited to see what's going on there. And no, I'm excited all around. The training camp battles have been good, heating up. There's been some good days. There's been some bad days. There's been some great days. I'm really interested to see how it all plays out, man. What are you looking forward to on Thursday night, man?
I do want to see our first rounder and what he's going to do. I want to see what Hamilton can do. I'm really excited to see him. I want to see how this new offensive line is going to do and see how well it really is strengthened. Now, unfortunately, our other first-round pick, our center, Tyler Lindenbaum, will not be playing. He has a sprain in his foot. Luckily, Coach Harbaugh did come out and say that it's not a very serious sprain, but it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of work out. So it doesn't look like we're going to see him. I bet we're not going to see him at all in this preseason. I'm interested to see what they're also going to do on the defensive line. You know, we did lose Brandon Williams. He is not a part of this team right now. I don't even think he's signed
Right.
anywhere, to be honest. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what they're going to do there. I know we did bring back Michael Pierce, so I don't know if he'll play, but I'm kind of intrigued to see what this is going to look like as well. One thing that does worry me, though, Jamison Hensley did report that the Ravens are getting thin at cornerback.
You know what? Did you see my counter tweet to that? I dispelled that. I was like, the dude needs to relax. That's just media crazy. I said, yeah, I quote tweeted him. I didn't respond to him. I quote tweeted and said, dude, relax. No one's thin here. Like, that's just media creating content that didn't just stop. Just stop it right now, man. Like, I'm glad you brought that up. Stop. Like, we're not thin nowhere. Like, we were thin last year running back when all of them went down before we even played a regular meaningful game. We were thin at corner before, come on, stop. Like, because they missed practice for a couple of days, like, dude, his comments were out of line. But again, titled their opinion, but someone who's a paid media to cover the team of that magnitude and being like, we're thin at corner, get out of here, bro. Get out of here. That's official in the call. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
Now, he did report that Marlon Humphrey missed his second practice. Brandon Stevens was out for his sixth. Jalen Armour Davis was limited.
He missed practice. Oh my God.
But
he missed practice.
I'm not hearing any injuries here. I'm hearing they missed practice, so this could easily be a rest day. Could be anything.
I missed my lunch hour. Big whoop. Big whoop. Like, really? Trying to create stories. And also, what's also fun and frustrating with preseason at the same time, we want to know who's playing and who's not. We kind of know who to look out for. It's kind of like this first preseason game's the catalyst. You know, me and you can speculate who excited to see. Brandon, I could really make it easy for you. So I'm excited to see everybody, right? I don't really know until I see who the personnel they deploy. I already know the starters are going to play. Once I get my feel for it, I'm like, okay, all right, I get to see who's so what. That's the beauty of preseason, but also with the battles won and lost. When it starts to take shape in that first to second preseason game, we're going to really know who's battling for the starting job, who's battling for those backup jobs, who's going to make that final roster. So that's the most exciting part about preseason. People might dispel preseason as, oh, it's preseason football. I don't care. You alluded to in the beginning, can we see who makes a roster? Who's going to make this team? There's a lot of people that come back from injury. There's a lot of people who are vying for that draft, the shine in the draft class. There's a lot of people vying for that last coveted roster spot, and I don't think we're thin anywhere. So that's just Hensley creating news where news didn't need to be created. We would be thin if, these guys weren't rushed back from the injury and it happened late in the season and we might not have them available. Yeah, we might be thin, but as far as I'm concerned, we're going to have most of these guys back for week one. Right now, I think, like I said, alluding to Gus Edwards, our head reports he might not be ready for week one for us, but we do have some reinforcements in the running game to counter that right now, at least. Can't replace Gus, can't replace JK or anybody else, but we do have reinforcements that can be in there, step in.
Actually, who I'm a little excited to see in this preseason game, I hope he plays. How about our new punter? Sam Cook has been a guy that, you never had to worry about. Now that he is retired, there's a new punter in town. Let's see what he can do, especially because he has Sam Cook as a coach.
That's right. One of the best to ever do it, a long-time Raven, and I'm happy that he's still, active in the organization and providing his mentorship and his coaching ability to the new regime. So it's going to be awesome to see and how that works out for us.
Tucker didn't know about it, though. He said there might be too many cooks in the kitchen.
That's a pretty good pun. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. Also, I'm going to bring up, I'm really excited to see what tight ends emerge, because I feel like the Ravens might go back to those two tight end sets now that Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle's back up. They got, Josh Oliver, in the ranks. They got, I can't wait to see what transpires with the tight end group. I can't wait to see what transpires with the line. The line might be shuffled a little bit. As obviously Ronnie Stanley's still coming back. You're not going to have the likes of Morgan Moses and Kevin Zeitler and Ben Powers. I don't think any of them are going to play. If not, they might play sparingly. You're going to see a lot of Tyree Phillips is, you're going to see a lot of Patrick McCarry, Ben Cleveland might be out there. Jones Smith might be out there. You're going to see a good mix of, who's who on the line. I really hope Tyler Lindenbaum's ready to go. I haven't heard of unofficially or official reports of him being ruled out for the game. But that's a guy I certainly want to see installed, in the preseason game. Him with right the first two picks, him and Kyle Hamilton both. I really can't wait to see what those guys can contribute right away. Is really what I'm going to look out for, along with the receiving core in a nutshell, is what I'm looking for right out of the gate.
Yeah, I don't think we see Linderbaum this week, but I do want to see what he can do. I want to see how well he gets along with Lamar, because those two are really going to be key to the offense success.
Lamar's not playing.
Right.
So that's that's the downside, right? That's the downside. You want to see the chemistry, but you got to point to training camp for that, right?
Right. Yeah, and when Linderbaum, he's got a sprain in his foot, so he's not playing this week as well. So
that's why I said I didn't know the official word.
Before we get out of here, I got one more question for you. Looking forward to week 1, it is the Ravens versus the Jets. Now, a guy that we know pretty well is playing for the Jets right now, and that's Joe Flacco. And there was reports coming out. The head coach was in a media conference, a press conference earlier this week, and said, I don't understand. I'm very happy that we have Joe Flacco here, but I don't understand why he is here. He could be a starter anywhere in this league. Now, if you have the head coach of the Jets saying Joe Flacco could be a starter in this league, and you have a former team coming to you week 1, is there any chance that the Baltimore Ravens will be up against Joe Flacco on week 1? I'm intrigued by this story. Could this be a revenge game on his part? But if Joe's showing off in training camp, he's outplaying everybody, and his former team's coming to town, why wouldn't you put Joe Flacco in against the Ravens week 1?
Interesting perspective. From a Jet standpoint, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have that? Why wouldn't you have that extra storyline, that extra oomph, that extra edge, and to say stick them to him, right? Why wouldn't you want, the former great one as the quarterback, the predecessor to Lamar currently, the elite one, the Super Bowl MVP one, the January Joe Cool one. Throwing name one out there. His reputation precedes him. I think it would be awesome. And be honest, I hope it happens. Not only that, but I'm going to be there for it. So being that I'm going on the road in week 1 to see the Jets and the Ravens in New York or New Jersey, if you call it whatever, it's going to be special. And I feel like and I even texted my buddies going with me to the game, and I was like, bro, what if Joe Flacco shoots up and he starts against us? And he's like, bro, wouldn't that be honest? And we're just like going back and forth about it. And it's an intriguing storyline to think about. And it's great comments coming from Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets. I can certainly see making case. I mean, if he's saying Flacco still got it, he's got some zip on the ball. With the Jets being who they are, the Jets, they've been in turmoil. They haven't really won anything recently. Why not start with the veteran Joe Flacco and see what happens? You already did the Zach Wilson experiment last year. You had Mike White step in as well, obviously with some injuries. Why not have Joe start under center? I think from a competition standpoint, it would be a great test for the Ravens defense coming out of week 1. I think it would be awesome. What better way to have Joe Flacco start against the former team that would jumpstart and infuse excitement with the Jets as of right now. I really think it would be, I think it would be awesome. And it would be fun for the fans. I think it would be bittersweet. But it would be the first to happen because since he's left the Ravens, memory serves correctly, I don't think he's actually went against the Ravens yet since he's had with his journey with and the Jets. He's been on the bench, but I don't think he started a game against the Ravens since he's left.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I asked you a couple weeks ago. I'm like, has Joe Flacco ever faced the Ravens? Because he had that little stint in Denver. Then he got hurt. He hurt his neck. Then he was a Jet. And then he went to Philadelphia. And then he came back to the Jets. I don't think that the Ravens have ever faced Joe Flacco. So I don't know. Like, there's a part of me right now that's thinking, like, he might be the QB1 week 1 against the Ravens. I don't know, but that's very intriguing to me.
No, it's very intriguing. And again, I hope it happens. I know some fans out there have been on the side of that too. Can't wait to see how it transpires, how it plays out. And that's something to watch too, not to take your eyes off what the Ravens are doing, but if you want to keep an eye on that, obviously got to pop over to Jets media and see what they're doing and what they're talking about. They might give us some clues as to what that might look like, and maybe even check in to the Jets preseason games when they are and their highlights and see what transpires. Does Joe Flacco even play in those games?
Yeah.
Right now, it seems like the Jets haven't even named their glorified starter for the season, maybe even week one. I haven't heard it. If Robert Sala's comments are that recent, I don't think they've named it, if started for the season, let alone week one. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for their team and beyond, especially week one against us. Can't wait to see. Very, very good, man. Very good. I like it.
All right, well, we've got Ravens football coming up this Thursday night. Josh, have we covered everything for this episode of The Call?
Quote the Raven, never murder.
All right, guys. Well, if you want to continue the conversation with Josh or I, you can. It's real easy. All you have to do is tweet to either one of us. You can tweet to me at Brando Cash. Josh, where can people tweet to you at?
Always at Italian GQ52.
Now go over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Call Podcast. Like us over there. Whenever a new show comes out, you'll be the first to know, and we're always posting any kind of information we find fun and we think that you guys will enjoy. So make sure you go over and like us on Facebook. Now we do this show for free. You listen, stream, and download for free on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Player.fm, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. All we ask in return is for you to please spread the word about the show. Write us an Apple Podcast review, and then let people know on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Instagram and Reddit and Snapchat and Twitch and TikTok, anywhere you're social on the web or with your phone. Say, I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, I listen to The Call, and you should too. So that is pretty much it for the show this week. Hey, we got to give a shout out to our buddies at Jimmy's Famous Seafood. Tickets have gone on sale for the Tailgoat, so make sure you go to tailgoat.com. Get your tickets there. They, of course, helped us celebrate episode 300 of The Call by telling us all about the Tailgoat. So if you enjoyed that show and we were able to persuade you to check them out because of what you heard on our episode 300, make sure you let Jimmy's know. So that is pretty much it for the show this week. Josh, it's the preseason, baby. Take us out the way you always do.
Brandon, man, can't wait to celebrate the Raven season with you, bringing you in style, the Call style. We're rolling on 300 deep. Thank you very much. And it's here, guys. It's here. The flock. Rise up and rejoice. We can celebrate Purple Friday officially for the first time this year because the Ravens play on Thursday night this week and the official Purple Friday of the season. Hopefully it's another Ravens dub in the preseason. Wins are fun, right? I know they're streaking. They have 19 in a row going on 20. Above all, no injuries is the game plan. They always say keys to the game preseason. The keys to preseason game is simple. That should be twofold. No injuries and win the game. That should be like the first two things on the list, maybe. It's the only thing I think of. And the position battles are heating up in training camp, but I just want to really mention, the rook class I'm looking forward to, man. I'm looking forward to, Isaiah Lickley and Charlie Kokar in the tight end group. I'm looking forward to seeing what Dan Filelli can offer on the offensive line. I really can't wait to see what transpires with Tyler Limbaugh and Colin Hamilton. We know some of these guys are banged up and dealing with some injuries, but the guys who contribute, I'm really excited to see their first licks in an actual difference of opponent than their own Ravens defense going against in practice and in training camps. Brandon, we want to wrap up the show before I sign us off here. I haven't really talked much, and I think we're finally connecting since you attended the practice. How was the stadium practice, my friend? I know you attended that. I wanted to lead in with that, but our conversation obviously took elsewhere and took off quickly, but wanted to make a note and point to ask you about stadium practice.
Stadium practice was a lot of fun. It was great to see the team back on the field. It was pretty packed. It was lots and lots of fans, and it was great to be back at the stadium. I was a little disappointed with the kids' activities. I did take my godson and his big sister, and usually there was a scavenger hunt, and there was stuff all over the place for kids to do. This time there were only about 3 little blow-up things for him to do, and the autograph session was just utter chaos. So I think that the kids stuff probably could have been handled a little bit better, but the actual practice, it was great to see. And you had Jerry Sandusky over the loudspeaker kind of telling people that maybe don't know a lot about football, what drills everybody was doing and what to pay attention to. So I had a blast. It was great to be back, and the laser and light show was awesome as always.
That's great, man. And I'm glad that, you and a lot of fans got to experience that again this year. The weather was good for you guys and to get back at it. Chomping at the bit. I know some folks of mine have had some, great interactions with the facility practices. Some of my buddies got behind the scene tours of the castle. Apparently Eric DaCosta led the tour. It was great for them. Great experience. Got some inside pictures. So, it's here, man, with the buzz of, what the Orioles are doing right now, vying for a wild card spot. Now you got Ravens football starting. It's a great time to be a sports fan right now in Baltimore, man. It's been a while since you had that kind of buzz. Usually it's like, from a fan standpoint, you can't wait till football season starts because, as of late, the Orioles haven't been doing so hot. But, it's been fun to enjoy. It's been fun to really go in the atmosphere and enjoy it. And then, I was at the game last night, Sunday, and I was kind of like, I'm going to be down here right across the street, the bank for the preseason game. It's just fun. It's a fun time right now, early August. And I can't wait, to see some people. I know some guys are going, and I can't wait to look you guys up. I know we've been chatting, on the social medias, and I've been getting to where you're sitting, and like to link up with you. So if I haven't talked to you, not sure Brandon if you're going to the game, but I know I'll be there with my pop. So look us up, 517. We'll be up there chilling and watching some good old wholesome preseason football. And hopefully I can link up with everybody who's going to the game. Look forward to catching up with you, seeing you, meeting you if I haven't yet. And with that being said, Baltimore Ravens. Here we go. 2022 is about to embark. Let's fly high.
This has been a production of Brando Cash Entertainment. Music by Brad Lepore and Daniel Kelly from the DBK Studio. For more information, go to brandocash.com.